Remember, there's a reason that Joe Biden can't walk into a sports stadium anywhere in America without being loudly mocked and ridiculed. Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, crazy Nancy Pelosi, and she's crazy as a bedbug, that one. Nuts. He made a phone call to Ukraine to congratulate the man who just became president. We have to impeach him. Can you imagine? And Hunter Biden's taking $83,000 a month and gets $3 million sign-up fee. Even though he knew nothing about oil, you have to go to Texas, grab anybody in the audience, but it wasn't Hunter. No, but can you imagine crazy Nancy? Let's impeach the president of the United States for congratulating the president of Ukraine. And that call that was made yesterday with Biden, if that was even half what they said, that was not a good call. In fact, the president of Ukraine was saying to him supposedly, calm down, just calm down. I think we're okay, just calm down. Can you believe? This is incredible. But their sinister faces of corruption, lawless political establishments like this should not be allowed to continue. They send young Americans to fight and die for the borders of distant foreign nations while they throw our borders open to illegal foreign invasion. We fight for other borders, but we don't fight for our own. They torture your children with masks in school while they host parties packed with unmasked donors in New York, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C. They restrict your freedom and lock you in your home while they abolish cash bail and release thousands of really dangerous murderers, dangerous criminal murderers. They release them from jail. They drive up the price of your energy for your family while they are shuttled around in limos and airplanes on American taxpayer dollars. They censor, cancel, and persecute ordinary citizens for speaking the truth while they drown your endless torment of, what they do. They have an endless list of propaganda and propaganda methods that nobody would believe, including hoaxes and demented lies. We had all of the hoaxes. The American people are sick of this entire rotten and wretched political class. Think about it. Other countries, they have a country. We have a country. All they do is try and destroy you. Thank you very much. No, it's true. It's a perfect, that was much better than I was going to come up. Thank you. Whoever the hell you are, put your hand up. Thank you. Thank you for the hand. Usually that's left for Joe Biden. I'm a little embarrassed. I just liked it much better than what I was going to say.
Change is coming. It is powerful. You want to know how powerful? Find me one person on planet Earth who doesn't know what "Let's Go Brandon" means. And not just in red states. How many of you saw at the New England Patriots game in Boston the entire crowd chanting "Let's go Brandon"? That is powerful. A wave is coming. We are taking our country back. We are standing up to power. We are defending liberty. We are defending the Constitution. We are defending the Bill of Rights. And together, we will save this great nation. God bless you.
We have to look at what we're doing against the backdrop of what's going on in Washington, D.C. And particularly, there's a fella by the name of Brandon that people talk about that we have to contend with. And I see this news report where Biden is so frustrated that his approval ratings are in the toilet. He can't understand it. He's lashing out at his staff. He's blaming other people. He's blaming the media, even though he gets the most sycophantic media coverage that any president has ever gotten, compared how they treated Trump to how they treat Biden. It's night and day. And so he's trying to make excuses. And I'm just thinking to myself, you know, what has he done since he came into office? He immediately waged war against American energy production. You see record gas prices in the United States? Well, that's a big reason why, because of his policies. You look at what they did in terms of fiscal and monetary, printing and borrowing trillions and trillions of dollars. What did you get for that? The most sustained inflation this country has seen in over 40 years. He advocated for and imposed mandates and restrictions related to COVID, including having people fired from their job based on getting a COVID jab or not. That has had a hugely negative impact on the economy, and he failed to take leadership and take decisive action to alleviate the supply chain crisis that we've seen really beguiling not only this country but places around the world. And so he has created the circumstances that have led to this resounding disapproval of what he has done. He would have been better off, and we would be better off, if he had simply got into office and did nothing than what he has done so far.
Mr. Speaker, President Biden recently promised us food shortages in the United States. This is a country that leads the world in production. Well, that's one heck of a campaign promise being kept. Food shortages, along with energy skyrocketing. What a reset. Indeed, my home state of California, which produces so much of what America relies on, due to federal and state policies, the water's been taken away. Up the Klamath Basin, zero water allocation. I just drove around part of my west side of the district the other day, and there's miles and miles of open land that is not growing rice, that they're trying to put all that water towards trying to keep orchards alive. The waterfowl are not coming in. The jobs are not happening, all because of a backwards campaign promise, evidently, to put food shortages out there for people. Empty shelves in the supermarket. It's unbelievable that this is what this administration, and what are they doing? What are they doing? We're not getting more water built. We're not getting more storage made. No, we're just continuing down the same path to try and save fish that don't exist in the Delta or that are being marketed by people catching them up on the rivers and out in the ocean. I guess that's why everybody is leading the charge these days in cheering for Let's Go Brandon. I yield back.
We're building a nation where no one is left behind. I ran for president because I believe we're in a battle for the soul of this nation. I still believe that to be true. I believe the soul is the breath, the life, and the essence of who we are. The soul is what makes us, us. The soul of America is defined by the sacred proposition that all are created equal in the image of God, that all are entitled to be treated with decency, dignity, and respect, that all deserve justice and a shot at lives of prosperity and consequence, and that democracy must be defended, for democracy makes all these things possible. Folks, and it's up to us. Democracy begins and will be preserved in we, the people's habits of the heart, in our character, optimism that is tested yet endures, courage that digs deep when we need it, empathy that fuels democracy, the willingness to see each other not as enemies but as fellow Americans. Look, our democracy isn't perfect. It always has been. Notwithstanding those folks you hear on the other side there, they're entitled to be outrageous. This is a democracy. But history and common sense Good manners is nothing they've ever suffered from. But history and common sense tell us an opportunity. Let me close with this. We're at a serious moment in our nation history, and it's not I mean it from the bottom of my heart. As I said last week, we remain in the battle for the soul of America. By the way, all right, God love you. Let him go. Let him go. No, 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 don't, let him go. Let him. Look, everybody's entitled to be an idiot. No, everybody's entitled. Okay? Look. Extreme MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and our economic security, they embrace political violence. Look. No, look, the reason, I'm not talking all Republicans, I'm talking about these extreme MAGA Republicans. Think about it. Think about it. The definition of democracy is you accept the will of the people when the votes are honestly counted. These guys don't do it. Name me a democracy in the world where a leader argues to engage in violence. To this day, MAGA Republicans in Congress defend the mob that stormed the Capitol, and people died later. Senator Johnson said it was, by and large, a peaceful protest. Have you seen the videos, what happened that day? Listen to the stories of the members of both parties of Congress and the jeopardy they were put in. Cops attacked and assaulted, speared with flagpoles, sprayed with mace, stomped down, dragged, brutalized. Police lost their lives as a result of that day. And the MAGA Republicans and your senior senators said it was a peaceful protest. Folks, you can't be pro-insurrectionist. I'm being deadly earnest now. There's no democracy where you can be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. So when I say the democracy is at stake, I mean what I'm saying, literally. You can't say you support law enforcement and call the people who attacked the police on January 6th patriots. This was an attack on American democracy and all we stand for. Imagine if you go home this afternoon, turn on the television, and saw several thousand people storming the British Parliament, knocking down the doors, threatening their lives, trying to overthrow the election of the new prime minister, and people dying. What would you think? No, I'm being deadly earnest now. Honest to God, what would you think? You'd think this is not a democracy. Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This is why in this moment, those of you in this country, Democrats, Republicans, and mainstream Republicans and independents, we have to be stronger and more determined and more committed to saving American democracy than the MAGA Republicans and that guy Alcantara are destroying democracy. Because democracy is at stake. We got to remember who we are.
So, in many ways, it's really not funny. It's sad because we could end up in a nuclear war, and this would be a war like no other. The power of these weapons, what's going on, and the word nuclear was never mentioned, never supposed to be mentioned. We could end up in a nuclear war the way they're handling things right now with Russia every day mentioning the nuclear word. No, it never happened like this before. And we did a great job with North Korea, you remember. With Kim Jong-un, we did a great job. That could have ended up in a nuclear war. If that administration had kept going, you would have had your nuclear war. But we're in the greatest danger, I think, right now, and I look at the congressmen and senators and all these very important political people. I believe this is the greatest danger that this country has faced from its founding. because of the power of the weaponry, and we have a man that doesn't know what the hell he's doing. It's a very, very sad situation.
Doing. You know, we're in a fight for truly what America stands for. You know, you guys are out here because you guys are looking for an opportunity to win back this country that this socialist woke movement is trying to steal from us. And what does Herschel represent?
America, Georgia.
He represents that America dream. The reason why people want to come here. He represents someone that had a dream and that someone was able to achieve something they were able to dream of. Listen, the left, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi. I know, I knew I was going to get a rise out of that one. I've got more for you. Joe Biden. Yeah. I know. That's like saying curse words around our house. You can't do that without getting washed out with soap there. Those individuals, they have a different vision for this country. See, they're wanting to rip out the foundation that this country was built upon. Who am I? I'm nobody. I'm a little boy from Westville, Oklahoma that grew up in a country town with a bad speech impediment, with a bad temper that learned how to fight because I couldn't argue with you. And I got upset one day and thought, I can do something else. I can do more than just sit here and complain. We have a saying in our family, you're never going to change anything you're willing to tolerate. None of you guys are willing to tolerate the direction this country is going. No one can sit here and say that we're better off than we were 2 years ago. And who is representing the state and the Senate right now is someone that's following in line with this movement, this woke movement, this socialist agenda that Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and Joe Biden is trying to ram down the throat of the American dream. We're not going to stand for that. That's why we're here supporting Herschel Walker, the man who embodies what America stands for. A guy that grew up with nothing, a man that had a dream, that had an ability, and has a voice. And he's willing to stand up and walk through the muck. I mean, the stuff that they're doing and saying about him, my Lord. But he's got a positive attitude. He's led by the Lord. He's a man that loves his country. He's a man who loves Georgia. He's a man of faith. A guy that I have become to be able to call a friend. And that's hard. Because I'm from Oklahoma and we think we know how to play football. Now this year hasn't been so good, I get it. So this year we're rattling around a bunch of wrestlers. That's what we also do. Now Georgia, you guys are okay, but we're really the best wrestlers in this country. But you know, Herschel spoke to me in so many ways because we came out of a pretty tough election. But when you see what he's gone through, and then his attitude towards this fight, and his love to be in the fight because he knows his vision for this country is right. And let me tell you, your support showing up today means the world to him. Means the world to us too. But what you need to do is make sure you hold his family up in prayers. Hold it up in prayers. And then what you guys need to do too is get out and take 10 people with you to the polls. A special election is about turnout. And this fight is on the line. Yes, it's 50-50. But let me tell you what we're forgetting. And I'm going to share this with you, then we're going to bring the man on the stage. Yes, the fight's 50-50, and unfortunately we're going to have Kamala Harris there casting the final vote. But what a lot of people forgot about is the committees. The committees are still going to be 50-50. And a lot of the woke agenda, the socialist agenda, they can't get out of the committees because they're still 50-50. They're able to hold up a lot of the legislation. We're able to hold up a lot of the appointments because we're able to keep the committees 50-50. She's not sitting on those committees. This vote, December 6th, for Herschel Walker, still allows us to hold up those appointments, still allows us to hold up those legislation, still allows us to hold up their movement towards this socialist move, this socialist wave that they're trying to force on us. And we have a man that's going to stand up and fight, just like he's fought his whole life. And he's going to represent Georgia with pride. And I look forward to serving with Herschel Walker.